Whoosh! Ever since Xiao Yin had used his domain to trap the poison fiend demon queen, the sky above the mystic three heavens had returned to normal. However, no one knew the true outcome of the battle, who had won and who had lost. Boom, boom, boom. With no leader like the poison fiend demon queen, and the sudden arrival of many 4-star and 5-star Dou Xian from the 10,000 Fires sect, the battle had now lost all suspense. Sister Kailin, are you all right? As the battle between the forces of good and evil in the sky slowly came to an end, a lively figure appeared behind Kailin with a playful smile. You little girl. Looking at the beautiful girl before her, Kailin smiled. Kailin knew that Mu Yingying had feelings for Xiao Yin. Unfortunately, Xiao Yin had always avoided her due to his ties with Kailin and Xun'er. However, after Mu Yingying's sacrificial act, Xiao Yin had finally recognized his feelings. Now, after returning from the Ghost Realm and with Mu Yingying's resurrection, it was clear that Xiao Yin was a man of loyalty and love. This also reaffirmed Kailin's belief in Xiao Yin, a belief that had never wavered. It's fine, just rest for now and wait for him to return victorious. Kailin's hand gently rose, holding Mu Yingying's delicate hand as they both stood against the sky. Mu Yingying, seeing the gesture, couldn't help but smile, as if the two had formed a deep connection in that moment. Report, Queen. There were a total of 3,700 evil ones, all slaughtered with not a single one escaping. After a brief moment, Hua Yi and several senior members of the Mystic Three Heavens appeared before Queen Medusa. They spoke calmly, clearly understanding now that this seemingly cold woman, though only a 5-star Dou Xian, possessed an aura so sharp that even a 6-star Dou Xian would be hard-pressed to match it. Thank you all for your hard work on this long journey. Hua Shi'er, please escort everyone below to rest well. Kailin smiled graciously at Hua Yi and his group. Thank you, Queen. Hua Yi and his companions nodded and made their way to the Mystic Three Heavens resting area. The task was now complete, and no further action was required from them. Masters of the sects, please return as well. Guardians, clear the area. Also, send teams to inspect the defensive array of the Mystic Three Heavens and any damaged facilities. One command after another, delivered calmly by Kailin, was immediately followed by nods of acknowledgement from those around her as they moved to execute their tasks. Boom, boom, boom. The skies now only contained Kailin and Mu Yingying. After a short while, a massive crack appeared in the sky, and Xiao Yan's figure re-emerged. Who finally back? Seeing the two women safe and the Mystic Three Heavens, filled with a sense of deep emotion, free from danger, Xiao Yan smiled slowly. Let's go. We'll talk more when we return. Kailin and Mu Yingying smiled at him, then turned toward the Heavenly Spirit Mountain range without waiting for Xiao Yan. TSK. You've reached a consensus so quickly? Don't tell me you're going to make me sleep in the shed? Xiao Yan could only shake his head helplessly before following them. The battle was over, and all the evil beings, including the poison fiend demon queen, who had attacked the Xinling continent, were slain. Thanks to Xiao Yan's arrival with the powerful figures of the 10,000 Fires sect, the Mystic Three Heavens had become much stronger. A large force now surrounded the Heavenly Spirit Mountain range, securing the area as tightly as an imperial palace. No one could enter or leave. Atop the Heavenly Spirit Mountain, the scene was majestic. The Heavenly Spirit Mountain was a massive range, with several snake-shaped palaces that stood atop it, adding to its imposing grandeur. There, a giant statue of Xiao Yin, several hundred feet tall, stood silently, surrounded by paths leading up to the peak where people came to pay respects. This statue, it's really finely sculpted, isn't it? A man and two graceful figures slowly ascended the steps and gazed at the massive statue. The man couldn't help but comment. Of course, it was crafted by Elder Zhu. One of the graceful figures, tall and elegant, replied with a smile. I wonder how Elder Zhu and Senior Yin Qi are doing? Hearing this, Xiao Yin asked in curiosity. After you left, many of the disciples of the Mystic Three Heavens have finished their training and returned home, including Mu Feng, Qin Xian, and others. However, Experts like Elder Zhu remain here to guard the fragrance-burning pavilion and continue to cultivate talents for the Xinling continent. As for Senior Yin Qi, he recently entered seclusion, preparing to break through to the 4-star Dou Xian level. Familiar figures kept appearing as Kai Lin spoke, and Xiao Yin and Mu Yingying quietly listened. By the way, where is Yuru? After a moment, Xiao Yin asked, remembering how Yuru had helped him greatly during the battle with the Xinling Emperor. Why hadn't he seen her this time? Yuru? I once secretly asked her master, and it seems she entered the immortal realm based on the legacy of the Moonlight Fairy, Kai Lin said with difficulty, her expression dimming. Immortal realm? Xiao Yin asked in surprise upon hearing this. Though the number of human powerhouses in the immortal realm is small, they are, without exception, among the strongest of the strong. Forget it. I hope she is all right. Send someone to the outskirts of the Xinling continent to keep an eye on the Tianxing Moon Clan. Let's go. It's time to return. As soon as the words left his mouth, Xiao Yin took the lead and headed toward the mountaintop. At the mountaintop of Xinling Mountain, there stood a peaceful manor. It was vast, tranquil, and filled with abundant spiritual energy, making it a perfect place for Kai Lin's solitary cultivation. Recently, Mu Yingying and Xiao Yin had also moved in, bringing some liveliness to the area. In the manor's back garden, by the pond in a pavilion, all the forces on the Xinling continent have completely submitted to us during your absence, including many of the masters from your sect. They've played a significant role, Kai Lin said, sitting gracefully in the pavilion while Mu Yingying, looking rather playful, sat cross-legged on a cushion, her hands lightly strumming a jade zither, giving off an air of a noble lady. I also brought back several thousand elite warriors from the Ghost Realm. These people are born to fight and die. They're trustworthy, and their strength is comparable to Dou Xian level experts. Compared to the overall strength of the Xinling continent, they're still much stronger, Xiao Yin said, understanding Kai Lin's meaning before adding. There's no need to worry about other forces. All the top sects of the Xin Three Heavens are absolutely trustworthy. Also, our Serpent Clan has produced quite a few talented individuals, so this time, we should be able to assist you, Kai Lin smiled gently. Evidently, in the years Xiao Yin was away, Kai Lin had never once relaxed. She had fully subdued the Xinling continent, and the hardships involved were something only she truly understood. But, being naturally indifferent, Kai Lin wouldn't easily speak of these things. Now that Xiao Yin had returned, she could finally step back a bit and take a well-deserved rest. Thank you for your hard work. Once I've built this place into a safe haven, I'll go down and bring them here, Xiao Yin said, looking at Kai Lin with a tender gaze, his concern evident in his voice. Kai Lin shuddered slightly upon hearing this, and then with a hint of a nasal tone, she spoke. But next, what do you plan to do? A moment later, Kai Lin and Mu Yingying, as if in perfect unison, both asked Xiao Yin. So, what will you do next? Their words, like the echo of the heavens, seemed to resonate with every cell of Xiao Yan's body. Rather than asking him, it felt more like Xiao Yin was questioning himself. Now, with the elites of the 10,000 Fires sect under his control and a quarter of the Xinling continent already submitting to him, he had built a formidable force. But the search for Xun'er had yet to yield results, and the mystery of the Xiao clan was still unsolved. What was Xiao Yin supposed to do next? Don't put too much pressure on yourself. No matter what you decide, we will support you. And Xun'er is fine. She should be in one of the ancient clans on the Douyun continent. Once this matter is settled, we'll go find her. Kai Lin spoke calmly, seeming to sense Xiao Yan's unease. During her time in charge of the Xinling continent, Kai Lin had sent scouts to gather intelligence, ensuring she knew the whereabouts of both Kai Lin and Gu Yuan. As for Zhu Kuan, there was no news for now. We still have plenty to do. How about using this time to consolidate these forces and establish a new faction? After a deep breath, Xiao Yin made an important decision, slowly speaking. When he said this, he couldn't help but clench his fist. I've been waiting for those words, a familiar voice laughed. Just as Xiao Yin finished speaking, the space above the pavilion trembled, and several familiar figures emerged one after another. The master of the fragrance-burning pavilion, the sect leader of the poison sect, the master of Pill Valley. You guys, Xiao Yin muttered, looking at the figures before him. The dozens of people who had just appeared were the true masterminds of the current superforces of the Xian Three Heavens. Though their individual strength might not match Xiao Yan's, they were all true rulers of their respective factions. Every move of the forces behind them was determined by these individuals. Clearly, if Xiao Yin was to form a new faction, he needed their approval. Hee, we've come uninvited. Lord Xiao Yin, I hope you won't mind. The master of Pill Valley, with a smile, looked at Xiao Yin. This guy, although his strength is only at the perfected 2-star Dou Xian level, his soul power, which is at the immortal realm, reflects his status. Not to mention, he is the first-rate alchemist in the mystic Three Heavens, and naturally carries a certain arrogance. However, even so, when facing Xiao Yin, he couldn't help but feel a sense of helplessness. Heh, all of you are senior Xiao Yan's predecessors. How could I blame you? Please, everyone, come into the hall, Xiao Yin said with a slow smile. Within him, a surge of hot blood slowly rose, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time. He also exchanged a smile with Kai Lin, clearly appreciating that Kai Lin's actions had saved him a lot of time. After a moment, in the manor hall, Lord Xiao Yan's strength is extraordinary now, and although he commands a force of only 1,000, it is still unmatched by any other power in the entire Xinling continent. Therefore, I have an ungracious request. Fan Tian spoke first, slowly opening his mouth. As the pavilion master of the fragrance-burning pavilion, naturally, he was willing to act as a leader to clear any obstacles for Xiao Yin. Master, please speak, Xiao Yin replied, secretly amused. It was clear that although most people here supported him, a small portion still had their doubts. Fan Tian's words were obviously meant to build momentum for him. Integrate all the forces of the Xinling continent and form a new power. Fan Tian's voice slowly spread, shaking the hearts of everyone present. Master Fan, isn't that going a bit too far? The mystic Three Heavens is a land of great fertility, with no shortage of Dou Xian powerhouses. Although Lord Xiao Yin is talented, integrating all the forces is still too ambitious and naive. Moreover, even if we take a step back, who would be the one to lead once this integration happens? A few faint voices rose among the crowd. Heh, don't pretend to be naive, Fan Tian chuckled. If it hadn't been for Lord Xiao Yin leading his elite forces to arrive in time during that battle a few days ago, what would have been left of the various super sects? To put it bluntly, if not for Lord Xiao Yin, the people here would probably have already perished. Fan Tian smirked inwardly. Master Fan is right, but such a major matter still requires careful consideration. Some murmurs were heard again. Please, everyone, Xiao Yin said, not making any further moves, simply sitting and speaking calmly. Cough. You two are like family, putting on a show. Isn't this a bit much? The pavilion master of Pill Valley couldn't help but frown as he looked at Fan Tian and Xiao Yin, who were playing along with each other. Well, pavilion master, what do you suggest? Fan Tian was unhurried and smiled. Given the current situation and the direction of public sentiment, forming a new power was just a matter of time. The only concerns were about who would govern the new faction after its formation and how the different powers would be distributed. Master Mu, Master Dao, the reason you two are here today is quite clear. If either of your families has any concerns, you can speak directly to Lord Xiao Yin. He should not make things difficult for you. As for the other factions, they shouldn't pose much of an issue. The pavilion master of Pill Valley slowly turned to speak to a man and a woman among the crowd. Among the group, nearly half of the people supported Xiao Yin, a few disagreed, and others remained neutral. Heh, pavilion master, you flatter us. After all, we are juniors. But integrating powers to form a new faction would destroy the foundation of our ancestors. So, Lord Xiao Yin, we hope the two factions of ours cannot agree to this. The two started to shirk responsibility as they spoke. Mu family and Blade sect, rising powers of recent years, have directly replaced the once superior factions like Solomon and the Valley of Unfeeling, Kai Lin said softly. If there are other sects who disagree, feel free to voice it. Xiao Yin nodded slowly, his gaze sweeping over the crowd. Ryup. The seemingly casual glance from Xiao Yin, however, was accompanied by a tremendous surge of soul power, calming the hearts of the powerful individuals present. After all, most of them were only 2-star Dou Xian, and to Xiao Yan's soul power, they were nothing more than an invisible deterrent, the most deadly kind. Lord Xiao Yan's soul power is terrifying. The pavilion master of Pill Valley couldn't help but change his expression as he sensed Xiao Yan's overwhelming soul power. Today, it is indeed our two factions that were in the wrong. We will personally come to apologize in the future. Goodbye. The man and woman exchanged a glance and then cupped their fists toward Xiao Yan. Wait a moment. Since you two insist, I can't force you, Xiao Yan said, gently standing up and speaking in a kindly tone. When did this guy become so gentle? Mu Yingying, who had been sitting quietly nearby, was surprised. Don't rush. Just wait and watch. Since that's the case, it would be more respectful to obey your command. After saying this, the two of them took a slight step forward, preparing to leave. Whoosh! At that moment, a smile appeared on Xiao Yan's face, and an amber-colored flame began to envelop him, slowly surrounding the entire hall. Lord Xiao Yan, what is the meaning of this? A man and a woman's expressions changed drastically, unable to stop themselves from speaking. It's nothing much. Since you two don't agree, then it's time for your respective sects to leave the Xinling continent in the next few days. Xiao Yan's voice was soft, but carried an unmistakable warning. 5-star Dou Xian? Immortal soul? A moment later, Xiao Yan released all his power without holding back, unleashing it completely. Lord Xiao Yan truly is extraordinarily gifted. Seeing Xiao Yan in this formidable stance, the strong figures present exchanged looks of surprise. At this very moment, not only had Queen Medusa fully taken control of the Xinling continent, but even the thousands of powerful warriors Xiao Yan had brought back were beyond their ability to contend with. There was no longer any choice for them, and judging by Xiao Yan's overbearing attitude, if they refused, they would likely be seeking their own demise. After all, Xiao Yan was no longer asking for their opinion. He was simply waiting for them to express their stance. If they disagreed, they would have to leave the Xin Santian, for if it weren't for the fact that these sects were native to Xin Santian, Xiao Yan likely wouldn't allow them to sit here peacefully. After all, the power of these sects offered little practical help to him. Lord, we were out of line. Our two sects agree with your plan. Seeing Xiao Yan's overwhelming presence, the man and woman could only helplessly speak, clearly realizing how wrong they had been to underestimate Xiao Yan earlier. They had thought of him merely as a warrior, but now they saw they had gravely misjudged him. Hua Yi, the task of integrating the forces falls to you in the coming days. Make sure the foundations of each sect remain stable, and within the new force, clearly define the divisions. Combat, defense, and logistics should be assigned according to each sect's specialties. Also, rewards and punishments must be fair and just. As the room fell silent, Xiao Yan spoke once more, his voice clear as a series of straightforward orders emerged from his lips. This guy, I didn't expect him to have such a commanding presence, but won't such pressure have some side effects? Seeing Xiao Yan's thunderous methods, the others in the room were too stunned to refute, and Mu Yingying whispered quietly. She had noticed that while some seemed to agree outwardly, they held some resentment inwardly. Don't worry, he's winning people over with virtue. And don't forget, he's an alchemist. Kailin chuckled, clearly understanding Xiao Yan's character and methods very well. Now that we're forming a new force, I won't treat you all unfairly. Very soon, you will each receive a Dou Xian pill. Seeing some of the strong figures still harboring a bit of dissatisfaction, Xiao Yan smiled, clearly having anticipated this. A Dou Xian pill? Hearing this, the strong figures in the hall couldn't help but redden with excitement. The Dou Xian pill was no ordinary pill. It was far more valuable than the Dou Di pills they had seen before. Most of them were already at the perfected 2-star Dou Xian level, and with the Dou Xian pill, reaching the 3-star level was just a matter of time. This move by Xiao Yan undoubtedly won him the wholehearted admiration of the strong figures present. Everything will be done as the Lord says. In an instant, all the powerful figures in the hall nodded, their previously hostile attitudes completely vanishing. Now that we're about to establish a new force, we should at least have a loud and impactful name, right? After a bit of restless chatter, no one dared to oppose Xiao Yin anymore. They had all begun to regard him as the ruler of the new force, with Fentian taking the lead. How about calling it the 10,000 Flames domain? I believe we won't be limited to this in the future. Elder Hui Yun, the Grand Elder, stepped forward with a smile. Domain? Huh. It certainly conveys enough ambition. Xiao Yin nodded lightly at the suggestion. A domain could typically govern hundreds of planes, and although they only had the Xinling continent for now, who could predict what the future would hold? Go, go, go. The name 10,000 Flames domain sounds terrible. How about Nation of Fire? Nation of Fire? Master of the Purgatory Hall, are you still asleep? Such an outdated name. In an instant, the entire hall erupted into a lively discussion. This is really giving me a headache. Xiaoyan looked at the scene, feeling a bit overwhelmed. This sort of thing was clearly the most troublesome. I think we should call it the Boundless Fire domain. After a moment of chaos, Kai Lin nodded slightly and spoke up. Boundless Fire domain? Xiaoyan muttered, and those words seemed to resonate with him, stirring something deep within his heart. Even the amber rock soul flame emitted a joyful pulse, clearly approving of the name. Good name, Your Majesty the Queen is indeed sharp. With Kai Lin's words, the room fell silent. Since that's the case, let's call it the Boundless Fire domain. Integrating all the sects and forces of the mystic three heavens, we will delineate the specifics. The Xinling continent will be our initial base. Xiao Yan's laughter was slow, yet his voice carried an unusually rare satisfaction. The Boundless Fire domain indeed suited Xiao Yan well. All right, everyone, you may leave now. There will be much to do soon. The integration will be troublesome, so I'll rely on you all. After the discussion, Xiao Yan dismissed the group. Understood. The group replied and dispersed quietly. With the assurance of the Dou Xian pills from Xiao Yan, they were naturally eager to cooperate. Boundless Fire domain. From now on, you two will be the matriarchs of the Boundless Fire domain. Xiao Yan smiled at Kai Lin and Mu Yingying. Go gather some materials first. Once I finish refining the Dou Xian pills, I might need to make a long trip. Xiao Yan sat quietly in his chair, rubbing his temples as he spoke softly. Is 10 enough? Kai Lin asked tentatively. Make it 20 and leave some for you. Xiao Yan smiled. All right. With that, everyone returned to their tasks. After this day, the heads of the major sects in the mystic three heavens cooperated to form the Boundless Fire domain. With the leadership of these established powers, the integration of countless forces proceeded smoothly, and the overall strength of the Boundless Fire domain saw a dramatic increase. The Xinling Mountain also became the headquarters of the Boundless Fire domain. In no time, this new force was widely known across the 4 continents of the Dou Di continent. Although the Xinling continent was the weakest among the 4 continents, with the numerous powerful figures Xiao Yan had brought, it soon surpassed the Hao Hai continent, ranking as the 3rd strongest continent. Only Tianxing continent and Douyun continent, where the ancient 8 clans resided, were ranked higher. In the past few days, Kai Lin and Mu Yingying personally traveled across the mystic three heavens, visiting major auction houses and pharmacies to gather the materials needed for refining the Dou Xian pills. Since the quantity was substantial, it took considerable time, but in the end, they successfully collected 20 sets of materials for Xiao Yan. I'll enter closed-door meditation and refine the Dou Xian pills. This will help settle their hearts. After receiving the materials, Xiao Yan exchanged a few words with Kai Lin and Mu Yingying before entering his meditation chamber. With Kai Lin's queen-like presence and the management of the senior members of the 10,000 Fires sect, the Boundless Fire domain flourished. Thus, the Boundless Fire domain was born. But after some time, a catastrophe quietly approached. This very catastrophe aimed at the Boundless Fire domain, and it would ultimately bring the name of the Boundless Fire domain to the ears of the entire Great Thousand Worlds. I haven't refined pills in a long time, so I may be a bit rusty. Sitting quietly in the stone chamber, Xiao Yan said with a wry smile. After all, during his time in the Ghost Realm, the rarity of alchemists there made it impossible to have competitions like the Alchemist Tournament. As a result, his alchemy skills stagnated. However, Xiao Yan's soul power had greatly surged during his time in the Ghost Realm, significantly enhancing his alchemy techniques, though he had yet to realize this. The Dou Xian pill can increase the strength of those below 4-star Dou Xian by 1 star, but each person can only take it once in their lifetime. It's a 5th-grade immortal level pill. Xiao Yan sat on the cushion in the stone chamber, slowly lifting a beautiful scroll and murmuring. Although the formula for the Dou Xian pill was precious, the master of Pill Valley had fortunately obtained a copy and was now more than willing to give it to Xiao Yan. All the required materials for refining the pill had been gathered, and everything was ready except for the final step. I remember that my alchemy skills were at the 4-star immortal level before. It seems that every time an immortal level alchemist advances, they face a tough challenge. But this 5th-grade immortal Dou Xian pill, looking at the numerous storage rings filled with materials and the scroll containing the formula for the Dou Xian pill, Xiao Yan was momentarily at a loss. Hee. Just as Xiao Yan hesitated, a figure slowly emerged from his soul sea. Xiao Yan looked at the figure, which was a perfect replica of himself, and couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Xiao possessed intelligence, but all actions were guided by Xiao Yan's commands. This sudden appearance left Xiao Yan confused. Don't be puzzled. After you entered the Ghost Realm, your alchemy skills indeed reached the 4-star immortal level. However, your soul power surged dramatically, allowing you to leap beyond the 4-star immortal realm and enter the 5-star immortal realm. As for the challenges of the 5-star immortal level alchemist, with me here, you can easily overcome them. So now, you are a genuine 5-star immortal alchemist, but whether you can refine the Dou Xian pill remains to be seen. Xiao explained intermittently. It seems that the soul power from the late stage of Grand Void. Since that's the case, let's begin. 20 Dou Xian pills? It will probably take several months. Xiao Yan forced a smile. Clearly, refining pills was a time-consuming task, not to mention the large-scale production of multiple pills. Let's get started. Since we are one, I can help you refine them, Xiao said with a smile. It seems that you'll make a good assistant in the future, Xiao Yan remarked with a grin. A moment later, Xiao Yan and Xiao sat opposite each other, quietly regulating their breathing. After all, refining the Dou Xian pills was no simple task and required their full concentration. Let's begin. Xiao Yan snorted, then took the first step. He knew that since Xiao relied on him for survival, Xiao could only help him refine the pills once he successfully crafted the Dou Xian pills, as both of their powers were linked. The materials for the Dou Xian pills are Wind Mystic Crystals, 9 Void Marrow Jade, and Scale Powder. Let's start by refining the Wind Mystic Crystal. The other 2 ingredients are relatively easy. With a plan in mind, Xiao Yan flicked his finger at his storage ring, and a blood-red crystal, resembling agate, slowly floated in front of him. Fire, come forth. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan's amber rock soul flame, born from the fusion of the 4-color sacred flames, spread out, rapidly raising the temperature in the stone chamber. The flames then coiled around the Wind Mystic Crystal, attempting to melt it completely. The Wind Mystic Crystal was one of the toughest special crystals in the Great Thousand Worlds. Though it contained immense heavenly energy, its blood-red exterior would take years for a typical Dou Xian expert to refine. Crack! However, under the roasting of Xiao Yan's 4-color sacred flames, the red crystal emitted a subtle cracking sound. Clearly, the sacred flame's suppression was powerful enough to shatter it in no time. Next is the 9 Void Marrow Jade. This is the essence of the Dou Xian pill. With a burst of soul power, Xiao Yan controlled the amber rock soul flame. To prevent its energy from spilling over, he spread out a layer of control over the sacred flames and directed them toward the second ingredient. Whoosh! The 9 Void Marrow Jade, green as willow branches, began to tremble as it was wrapped in flames, slowly melting. The green liquid emanating from it contained a force that would make any 3-star Dou Xian envious. Lastly, Scale Powder. This ingredient, along with some auxiliary herbs, is needed to neutralize the violent aura of the other materials. Otherwise, failure is inevitable. Focusing his mind on all 3 core ingredients, Xiao Yan continued refining them. Refining pills was naturally a time-consuming process, especially with high-tier pills like these. The required time was not short. Time passed like a fleeting shadow, and after 20 days, Xiao remained in a seated position, undisturbed. If it weren't for Xiao Lei's keen observation, noticing the gradual melting of the three materials, one might have thought Xiao had fallen asleep. His pill-refining skills have probably reached the peak of 5th-grade immortal rank. Reaching heavenly rank is just around the corner, Xiao Lei remarked, watching Xiao sharp techniques. Now's the time. Xiao shouted after a few more days. When the three ingredients were thoroughly roasted by the sacred flames, their cracks had become clearly visible. With a roar, 2 streams of blood-red liquid and green liquid, along with a mix of multicolored powder, appeared. It's time to merge the pills, Xiao Lei muttered. Next came the most difficult step, pill merging. Whoosh! The blood-red and green liquids met, and as if they were two unruly bombs, their terrifying rejection force surged out uncontrollably. Are they going to explode? Xiao Lei hesitated, watching Xiao remain unfazed. Go! Seeing the two liquids repel each other like enemies, Xiao waved the multicolored powder in his hand, gradually calming their restless energy. Merge! With the two core liquids now temporarily calm, Xiao wasted no time. He clasped his hands together, and his dazzling soul power surged out like a fountain, condensing the liquids into a pill. Impressive! Using this brief moment, he's managed to compress and merge all the power of the ingredients. Such a technique requires significant soul energy. A 5th-grade immortal rank pill refiner truly lives up to their reputation, Xiao Lei said with a slow smile as he observed Xiao actions. Boom! In an instant, the stone chamber above erupted with fierce blood-red thunderclouds. The waves of pressure emanating from them were enough to make anyone nervous, but for Xiao Lei, it felt like child's play. Mission accomplished, now it's time for mass production. After several dozen minutes, Xiao Lei swallowed all the thunderbolts, and the Dou Xian pills were successfully refined. Let's begin. It will take at least 6 months, or up to a year, was the last thing said. As the words fell, the two of them began mass-producing the Dou Xian pills. In an instant, the third layer of Xiao Yan's 9-layer spiritual palace became deeper, even faintly expanding toward the 4th layer. Once he stepped into the 4th layer, his soul would break through the grand void stage, advancing into the next, even more powerful soul realm. Time passed, and it was now October. During this time, things on the Xinling continent proceeded in an orderly manner, and when the news of the establishment of the Boundless Fire domain spread, many troublemakers came toward it. However, these were all nameless individuals, quickly suppressed by Kai Lin, and the reputation of the Boundless Fire domain began to spread, albeit slowly. Within the Boundless Fire domain, countless forces were reorganized and divided, with various halls operating, such as the pill refining hall responsible for crafting pills and the weapon forging hall responsible for forging weapons, creating a thriving scene throughout the entire domain. At the same time, in the garden pond at the peak of the Xinling Mountain Manor, while you were in seclusion, these things happened in the Boundless Fire domain. Kai Lin, along with Mu Yingying, sat quietly as Xiao Yan's figure appeared atop the pavilion by the pond. Kai Lin calmly explained all the significant events that had occurred in the past few months. It seems that the Boundless Fire domain still has a long way to go, Xiao Yan muttered as he handed over the Dou Xian pills he had refined to Kai Lin for distribution. Xiao Yan was well aware of Kai Lin's methods, and with her authority, it was best if she handled many matters. Now, as Kai Lin explained the current state of the Boundless Fire domain in detail, Xiao Yan analyzed, as for the secrets of the Xiao clan, I'm afraid only the core circles of the 4 continents of Dodi can uncover some traces. The Douyun continent may be able to gather some clues. Seeing Xiao Yan hesitate to speak further, Kai Lin's eyes flickered with a hint of concern. The Douyun continent was far stronger than the Xinling continent. Although it was not as powerful as places like the ferocious Soul domain, it was still a region teeming with geniuses. Even with the Boundless Fire domain as a backup, it was still insufficient. Don't worry, leave the rest to me, Xiao Yan reassured her. What are your plans next? Kai Lin asked, noticing that Xiao Yan seemed to have already made up his mind. I plan to keep my appointment, the 100-year pact. The force behind the Xiao clan's protector should know quite a bit, Xiao Yan said, glancing at the quiet Mu Yingying and Kai Lin. I think it's too early for this. Kai Lin shook her head, disagreeing. Xiao Yan had not kept this 100-year pact secret from the two of them. Why do you say that? Xiao Yan asked, settling down to listen, as he too felt some hesitation about going to fulfill the pact at this time. The 4 continents of Dou Di, the Xinling continent, is ranked at the very bottom. While it occasionally manages to break into the top 3, it's always at the lowest rank. Both in terms of strength and resources, it's quite lacking, Kai Lin began. According to the information I have gathered, the destination of your 100-year pact may still be related to the Douyun continent. The Douyun continent is home to many geniuses and the 7 ancient clans. If you don't have enough power and support, then, after all, you can't just think of yourself. Kai Lin's voice softened, clearly referring to their group of women with the last words. So, what do you think I should do now? Xiao Yan asked, nodding thoughtfully. The 100-year pact, the invitation from the monster realm, was now before him, and it was indeed difficult to choose. Send an envoy to the Tianxing continent. There's a sacred flame there, the undying flame. Combined with the undying fire within you, something extraordinary might happen. Also, if our boundless fire domain can gain the support of the Tianxing continent and the Haohai continent, we would have enough strength to face the top forces of the Douyun continent. Kai Lin continued slowly. Tianxing continent. Wang Tianya. Undying Emperor's undying flame. Xiao Yan murmured, nodding slightly as his thoughts began to stir. Did you think that just relying on me could make the entire Xinling continent thrive? Kai Lin said with a smile. It wouldn't have been possible without the help of the Tianxing continent. They've supported us with both resources and military strength. So, for both emotional and practical reasons, you must visit the Tianxing continent. After all, it seems they are hosting some grand events soon, Kai Lin added. I see, Xiao Yan said, feeling relieved. No wonder some of the Dou Xian experts here felt vaguely unfamiliar. It turned out that they were sent by the Tianxing continent. Then let's head to the Tianxing continent first. But it seems that the Xinling continent and Tianxing continent don't have much of a deep connection. What could be the reason for their actions? Xiao Yan asked, as though he had thought of something. Fengshan Pavilion, Qin Xin, do you remember? Kai Lin said softly. Yes, a rather powerful woman, Xiao Yan nodded. She's from the royal family of Tianxing continent. Kai Lin replied faintly. I see, Xiao Yan said, immediately understanding. As for the details, we'll have to wait until tomorrow when the envoy from Tianxing continent arrives, Kai Lin continued, observing Xiao Yan's sudden relief and purposely acting mysterious. All right, Xiao Yan smiled. Without realizing it, it's almost dusk. You two ladies should rest early, Xiao Yan said, smiling as he rose slightly, as if preparing to escort the 2 beautiful women away. Ahem. After discussing serious matters, Mu Yingying and Kai Lin exchanged glances and quickly left, not leaving Xiao Yan any chance, leaving him standing there, blinking in confusion. Again, the woodshed? Xiao Yan said, exasperated. A night passed without incident, and the next day, the atmosphere in the entire Xinling mountain was filled with a solemn energy, as if something or someone significant was about to arrive. At the foot of Xinling mountain, the 100-level stone steps. My lord, we have arrived at Xinling mountain. Queen Medusa is standing in the estate at the mountain's peak. Should we send someone to announce your arrival? At this moment, 6 tall men surrounded a handsome young man riding a white horse and respectfully asked. The young man on the white horse had an air of classical elegance, as if he were not a resident of the Xinling continent. Even his gestures and words carried the air of a true politician. No need, let's walk up. It will be a good opportunity to admire the scenery of Xinling mountain. After all, it's quite different from our Tianxing continent. Experiencing the exotic charm here is also a pleasant thing. The handsome young man dismounted, waved his hand, and said, looking at the towering mountain range before him. He then began walking up the stone steps. By the way, everyone, be respectful. Don't forget the purpose of our visit. If anyone causes trouble, don't blame me for turning hostile. The young man slowly turned around and commanded the people behind him. His voice was like a river, reverberating in everyone's hearts. And with this level of power, it was evident that he had reached the 4-star Dou Xian level. Tianxing continent had sent a 4-star Dou Xian powerhouse to lead the group. What could be their purpose in coming to Xinling continent? A 4-star Dou Xian. Inside the hall, there were only Xiao Yin, Kai Lin, Mu Yingying, Hua Yi, and Hua Yun. Xiao Yin sat at the head of the table and murmured softly. Report to the domain master. The leader representing Tianxing continent is named Lin Qingwen. He is from the royal family of Tianxing continent. Although his rank is relatively low, he is a beloved duke. A guard softly pushed open the door and reported to Xiao Yin. I see, you may leave, Xiao Yin said lightly. Lin Qingwen. This guy is known for being a well-liked figure in the royal family of the Lin clan, but I wonder what his purpose is in coming here, Kai Lin said, nodding thoughtfully. I'll go out and take a look, Xiao Yin said, and immediately left the hall, heading toward Xinling Mountain. He felt that only by interacting with them as an ordinary person could he uncover things that others might not notice. My lord. At this moment, Lin Qingwen and his companions were slowly climbing the stone steps toward the estate at the mountain peak. This really is a beautiful place, Lin Qingwen said, admiring the magnificent Xinling mountain range. Although the spiritual energy here was rather sparse, the scenery was beyond what Tianxing continent could offer. Birds chirping, flowers blooming, truly a sacred place for cultivation. Everyone. Suddenly, a man dressed in simple clothes quickly climbed up the stone steps and approached them, smiling. No need. Seeing the enthusiastic stranger, the guards around Lin Qingwen couldn't help but show a bit of caution. Young brother, are you also here to pay your respects to Lord Xiao Yin and Queen Medusa? Lin Qingwen asked, walking over to the stranger. For some reason, the stranger carried a faint yet powerful aura, one that seemed even stronger than his own. However, it was well concealed, making it nearly impossible for ordinary people to detect. Yes, what brings you here? The stranger looked at them and asked. From your attire and tone, it seems you're not from Xinling continent? The stranger glanced at them. The stranger was, of course, Xiao Yin in disguise. You're quite perceptive, young brother. We came because we heard of Queen Medusa's fame and wanted to see her for ourselves, Lin Qingwen said with a smile. Queen Medusa? However, atop the mountain peak stood a statue of the queen, and paying respects to it was certainly not a wasted effort, the stranger said with a smile. You make a good point, little brother. In that case, we won't keep you any longer, the stranger added, and with that, the two of them parted ways. My lord, what about that man just now? As Xiao Yin left, one of Lin Qingwen's guards cautiously asked. Don't worry. We're in the Xinling continent, not the deceitful Tianxing continent, Lin Qingwen said with a carefree smile. That man seems to have some unusual protective talisman, Xiao Yin said, watching as Lin Qingwen and the others started climbing, soon disappearing from sight. Moments later, at the manor atop Xinling Mountain. Knock. The door to the main hall was pushed open by some attendants. I am Lin Qingwen from Tianxing continent, on the princess's orders, here to discuss important matters, Lin Qingwen said, entering the hall alone without his attendants, fully aware that this was simply a matter of basic courtesy. He was also curious to see what made the Xinling continent worthy of the princess's praise. Brother Lin, you're too polite. Please, take a seat, Xiao Yin, seated at the head of the room, said with a smile. You must be Lord Xiao Yin, right? At such a young age, you've already reached such a high level of mastery. Truly, we are all shamed. Medusa, the queen, is also a renowned and fearsome powerhouse. Lin Qingwen remarked, observing Xiao Yin and Queen Medusa, their expressions, and the terrifying aura they subtly emitted, in awe. Brother Lin, you're too kind. Tianxing continent has always been a land rich in heavenly energy. But, let's get to the point. Why have you come? Xiao Yin said softly. Hee, since Lord Xiao Yin has spoken, then I will not hesitate any longer. I have come on the princess's orders to seek the full support of the Endless Fire domain, Lin Qingwen said politely, his expression becoming serious. Oh, the princess? Seeking our Endless Fire domain support? Xiao Yin asked, his tone laced with confusion. The princess once had the privilege of cultivating at the fragrance-burning pavilion, and her name is Xian. Lin Qingwen seemed to anticipate Xiao Yan's confusion and explained. Tianxing continent, is something happening? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask. Tianxing continent's royal election is imminent. Among the 3 most qualified candidates, including the princess, all are trying to secure backing. The princess is currently in an unfavorable position. If she can gain the support of the Endless Fire domain, she is sure to win, Lin Qingwen explained. I see. Xiao Yan suddenly smiled. Ever since the princess completed her training and returned, she has been concerned about the Xinling continent. Even though many in the royal family opposed her, she still sent precious cultivation resources and military support to the Xinling continent. Lin Qingwen said, looking at Xiao Yan and Queen Medusa, his tone heavy with meaning. We are aware of that. The princess's care for us here in Xinling continent has certainly not gone unnoticed, Xiao Yan said, his expression shifting slightly. But unfortunately, our Endless Fire domain is newly established. I'm afraid we can't offer much help. My lord, please don't misunderstand. The princess sent me here, not to threaten the Endless Fire domain, but rather to ask for your support. Her success in the royal election would greatly benefit from your backing, Lin Qingwen said quickly, sensing Xiao Yan's concerns. After all, the Endless Fire domain is closely linked with Xinling continent, and its power should not be underestimated. And once the princess wins, Tianxing continent and the Endless Fire domain will form an unbreakable alliance, Lin Qingwen explained urgently, hoping to clear up any misunderstanding. The princess mentioned this to me several times, Kai Lin said with a nod, glancing at Xiao Yan, awaiting his decision. Well then, there's no time like the present. We'll set out tomorrow. It just so happens I have some matters to attend to in Tianxing continent as well, Xiao Yan said with a smile. Thank you, my lord. Lin Qingwen's eyes glistened with tears, his gratitude evident. As a member of the princess's faction, without the support of the Endless Fire domain, the princess's election would face significant obstacles. And if she lost, they would all be wiped out as heretics.